Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Please subscribe to my channel, it really does make a difference and I promise to love you forever if you do. In this video I'm going to introduce you to the second of our two candidates for a Father of the Year award. The first one was Felix Cavi. If you haven't heard his story, I'll leave a link in the description box below. They both had sob stories to tell and they were both similar. Seraphina wasn't impressed by either of them and their sob stories backfired on them. For this video, meet Wilson Scott. Before we go any further, can I just add a serious note? That photograph of two small boys has been sent to the scammers most likely by someone who believed that the person that they were talking to online was genuine and fell for their requests to keep sending them photos. That, or they were stolen from a dating site, but I don't really believe that anyone would upload photos of their children to a dating website. However the scammers got them, please think very carefully about sending photographs of your children to people that you've met online. This candidate for Father of the Year said, "I'm Dr. Wilson Scott from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, but currently on assignment in Aden City in Yemen, where I work due to my contract. Nice to meet you here, dear." "What are you doing in Aden?" asked Seraphina. "I'm working there due to my contract," he said. "Yes," she said, "you said that. But what do you do? What is your contract?" "I'm an orthopaedic surgeon," he said, "who specialises in bones and joint fractures. I'm working with the MSF Doctors Without the Border as an emergency doctor. I'd like us to get to know more about each other, if you don't mind." "That must be very difficult in the current situation," said Seraphina. "Are you married or single?" he asked. "I'm single," she said. "My partner and I split up 2 years ago. What about you?" "I'm a responsible man with 2 lovely kids and my wife is dead," he said. "I lost my wife when she was about to have another child years back, my dear." "Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that," said Seraphina. "Why are you in Yemen if you have 2 children to look after?" "Here we go again." "I was first working in Canada," he said, "before I got a contract, and I was transferred to Yemen, so I took them to live with my friend. But now my friend got a contract, and he put them in a boarding school over there in Philippines, my friend." "Then shouldn't you leave your contract and go and be with your children?" said Seraphina. "And why on earth are they in the Philippines if you live in Canada? It's good to help other people in Yemen, but don't you think your own children should be your first priority?" "I know it's good to be with my kids," he said, "but besides, they're doing good over there. I do call them all times." "How old are they?" she asked. "They're 10 years, he said. "When did you lose your wife?" "When she was about to have another child, years back. So will you please tell me how old you are, my dear?" "Yes," she said, "but when? I'm 50. 5 years ago," he said. "Oh, whoops. Seraphina's about to lose it again. How can you even consider leaving 10-year-old bereaved children with people they don't know, in a country they don't know? That's so heartless. My spirit guide is telling me they need their father. You didn't even take them there yourself. You made your friend do it, all the way from Canada. That's just so unkind and cruel. And don't tell me they understand. They're 10. They'll say whatever they think you want to hear." "I know," he said pathetically, "but there's nothing I can do over the contract." "That's just ridiculous," said Seraphina. "You should never have taken it in the first place. What kind of father just abandons his own kids like that? You should have taken a job in Ontario so you can look after them yourself. Your poor wife's spirit must be so troubled. I'll light a candle for your enlightenment and for her peace." "And that's why I'm looking for a partner to be with them," he said. "Yeah, that's right, mate. Just find another woman to raise your kids instead of doing the hard work yourself." "I'm sorry," said Seraphina, "but I don't want to talk to a man who thinks it's okay to abandon his own kids in a foreign country, to be looked after by strangers at the age of 10. If you even want to be friends with me, you go and get your kids and go home to Ontario immediately." "They're in a boarding and I put someone in charge to look after them for me," he said. "I'm not interested in your excuses," she said, "for abandoning your own children. You don't even deserve to have kids. They're a precious gift, not a parcel to hand over to someone else." "My dear," he said, "you can't understand my situation and why I did it." "No, I can't," she said, "and I don't. How on earth can you work for MSF when your own kids need you? If you can't get a job at a hospital in Ontario, then you shouldn't be a doctor. Can you imagine how those poor kids feel? Their mother died, their father sent them to live with someone else, then that someone else took them all the way to a country they don't know and abandoned them to be looked after by strangers. It doesn't even bear thinking about. You're a horrible man, aren't you?" "I know I made a mistake," he said, pathetically again, "and really want to correct that mistake." "So go get your kids and go home to Ontario," she said. "Do you have kids?" he asked. "You'll have a lot of work to rebuild their confidence in you," she said. "Yes, I have a grown-up daughter. There is no way on earth I would have sent her to live with strangers in a foreign country." "Thanks for showing concern on them," he replied. "I would like us to chat sometime. I am really interested in you, and I really would like to know more about you." "Not until you tell me you have arranged to get your kids," she said, "and take them home to Canada." "Okay," he replied pathetically again. "What your profession?" he asked. "Go away," she said. "I told you, I don't want to talk to you unless or until you arrange to go and get your kids." "Are you that I have think about that, and I'm going to arrange that issue, okay?" "Okay," she said. "Let me know when you have. For me to leave them contract, you have to help to write a letter to the MSF for me." "I can help you if you need me to," said Seraphina. "Do you have difficulties with writing to authority?" "Or I help you to compose it and send it to you, and then you will send it to them." "Okay," said Seraphina. "I can do that for you." "But you have to send me your name, your country name, your house address, and your mobile number," he said. "Why can't you email it to me?" asked Seraphina. "I don't give all that info to people I've just met online, and you know my name and my country. Are you really telling me that you're going to post the letter to me in the mail?" "But you have to send the detail," he said. "No, I don't have to do anything," said Seraphina. "If you want my help, email it to me, or upload it as an attachment here, and if you want to talk to me about it, you can call me here or on Hangouts." Our man disappeared for a while and was replaced by a mate. Because obviously, if you're trying to scam someone, it's really helpful to have a mate take over, a mate who clearly hasn't bothered to read what was said before. "I may say," said Father of the Year's mate, "that you are a good friend to me, and I will like us to continue with our conversation, and I know that by that we're getting to know more deeply about each other. So what did you say?" "What did I say about what?" asked Seraphina. "Tell me," he said. "What are you searching for?" "What are you talking about?" she asked. "You still haven't told me what you meant by 'so what did you say?' And there's nothing like a bit of that old copy and paste inspiration to really keep the conversation going. "I'm looking for my soulmate," he said. "Someone who is exciting and adventurous, has great sense of humour and enjoys making me laugh. Someone who is so glad to share, so glad to help and give. Someone who I can share my thoughts with, and who will make me feel special and brings out the best in me. Someone who tries to understand me even." "I told you very clearly," said Seraphina, "that unless you arrange to collect your children, I will not talk to you. Surely I don't have to keep telling you that, man. Are you going to send me that letter you're going to write?" Ignoring Seraphina, and in full flow, our man continued. "I'm in my 3rd military contract, which is my last, and my current contract is worth $12.5 million. $12.5 million? He continued, "with other benefits, but our salary are not paid to our account. It's paid to the MSF account for our safety, because anything should happen to us over here, they will send anything that belonged to us to our family, my dear." "I couldn't care less how much you earn," said Seraphina. "Are you going to send me that letter?" "I have already made up my mind this is my last contract in Yemen," he said, "because I need to settle my kids, and also with the woman whom I will love and have a happy life with. I am in search for a woman for a serious relationship, because I want to have a happy family after I get back home for my retirement." In full flow, our man continued. "You're so beautiful. For 8 years now, since I lost my wife, I have been lonely and sad. I think it's bad being without love. Every time I pray for God to give me the right woman who's going to make me happy, and the woman who's going to spend the rest of her life with me. A woman who is going to love me with all her heart. A woman who is ready to move any mountains just to be with me. I hope you're the woman I have waited for all these years to bring an end to my loneliness. I'm going to give you all the love and happiness you deserve if you can make me a happy man again." "I think you've picked the wrong woman, mate." 8 years? said Seraphina. "You're just an expletive, aren't you? You told me she died 5 years ago. Are you seriously telling me that you abandoned your own children when they were 2 years old? You really are a horrible man. Go away." Undeterred, our candidate for Father of the Year decided to become a candidate for Poet Laureate. That's a British thing, guys. Look it up. "Distance relationships are hard," he said, "but they are also incredible. If we can love, trust, respect and support each other from a distance, then nothing is going to separate us once we're physically together. When two hearts are meant for each other, no distance is too far, no time too long, and no other love can break them apart. Don't bother about the distance for now. The relationship is what I want us to build first, before we can start talking on how we will meet later if it all goes well for us." "Can't you read?" snapped Seraphina. "What do you mean?" he asked. "Exactly what I just said," said Seraphina. "I told you very, 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 very clearly that I'm not interested in talking to you unless or until you write that letter and go and get your children. And you said you'd write it. So stop writing long paragraphs of ridiculous rubbish. I'm not interested. And you lied to me about when your wife died. Send me your WhatsApp number, house contact, then I now forward it to them," he said. "I also told you clearly that you can email it to me or upload it here. You don't need any of those. I don't even use WhatsApp. Are you seriously telling me that you want to write a letter and send it to me in the post, rather than upload it or email it? I don't believe you." This candidate for a Father of the Year award also disappeared. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please like it, please share it, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you again in another Keep Safe on the Net video on YouTube.